My name is David Preziosi, and I'm the Executive Director of Preservation Dallas. Well, Preservation Dallas is a group that works to educate and advocate for historic buildings across the city. And this came on our radar way back in the early 2000s when it was vacant and the city of Dallas was considering demolishing this building for Main Street Garden, which is right out front of this building. So at Preservation Dallas, our message is really that the historic buildings that we have in Dallas are important to the fabric of the city, to the history of the city, to the cultural aspects of the city. These buildings all tell a story, and a story about the people that worked here, lived here, came to these buildings. And if you start erasing those buildings, you erase a part of the past of the city. And we really need we need a mix of old and new together, because I think it makes the city more vibrant, it makes it more interesting. People want to come and see interesting and unique things. They don't want to see the same glass skyscraper they can see in their town. They want to see something different and unique. And so if we have these buildings, not only do we preserve a part of the history, but we increase tourism, jobs, property values are all impacted by holding and saving on to these really wonderful pieces of our past. So the hotel closed as a Hilton back in the 1980s, and then there was another hotel developer that came in and made some alterations and changes to the building. And so when the previous developer, not the current one, was cleaning out the building, they started discovering some of the original fabric that was underneath these later additions, like the black terrazzo floor out there was covered with white marble tile. The original mural, the Jack Lubin mural that was done for the hotel for the Empire Room that we're sitting in, was on the wall over there, and that had been walled over. And so when they removed the wall, they found the mural, which is amazing that it survived because it's a canvas mural. And so that's been taken down and restored and is now out in the check-in area of the hotel. So, being a mid-century hotel, it was designed to be clean and modern. William Statler out of New York was the hotel designer, and he designed many hotels across the country. But he wanted this one to be different, efficient and modern. I think what's interesting about this hotel for an urban hotel is that it doesn't fill sidewalk to sidewalk with building. It's set back. It has that wonderful entrance off of the street for the cars. It's a Y shape or an inverted T shape building, so you get lots of light and air around the rooms. The exterior of the hotel is a curtain wall construction. So he decided to use cantilever floor construction to minimize the supports that were needed for the building and to allow the front to be a curtain wall. And what's interesting about that is it's a mix of course, glass and then porcelain steel coated panels, which was new for the time. We had lots of buildings in Dallas that had those color panels. And then on the exterior of the building, all those round, half-round tubes that you see going up the front of the building were actually the circulation system for the heating and cooling for the rooms. So air would blow up those tubes and then into the rooms, and you could actually adjust the temperature of your room, which is very advanced for 1956 when it opened. You could individually control the temperature in your room. So when the hotel opened, there were 1,001 rooms, which you think is a lot, but back then they were very small, especially by today's standards, with the smallest room being about 8 by 12 and the larger rooms being about 15 by 20. They were very efficient and compact. They were basically designed for business travelers at that time, businessmen that came to the hotel and stayed there. About 60% of the rooms were designed as day rooms, were beds that were really couches that could be turned down into beds at night. The bathrooms are very compact and small. The toilet was actually on an angle so that you can completely open the door into the bathroom. And the architect was very proud of this fact. He said that ladies could sit on the toilet backwards and do their makeup in the mirror, and they use the toilet as a makeup chair. So I don't know how many ladies do that today, but he was very proud of that fact. Everything was designed for efficiency in the hotel. It was the largest hotel in the Southwest. by number of rooms, and the ballroom was also the largest as well. So it really catered to conventions and entertainment that was happening there. The ballroom is very interesting. It could be divided into two separate spaces. It also has on the exterior of the building is a car lift, so that cars and boats and other things could be lifted up out from street level and driven into the ballroom to be used as part of the space. And the first convention or first use of the ballroom space up there was for a undertaker's convention. So they actually drove hearses into the ballroom and had them up in the ballroom. So the Empire Room that we're sitting in right now is really sort of the social center of Dallas in the 1950s and 1960s. Think all of the Rat Pack singers that came through here. Behind me is the colored glass wall, which is original to the building. So the stage was in front of that wall. There was a stage that raised and lowered from the floor, where the performers would do the performances. And this room was really it was an amazing room to be in at the time. And you can look at all the singers that came through here. It was just an amazing collection of people that entertained Dallas for those times. I can certainly envision Don Draper walking through this lobby and maybe going to have a martini in the Empire Room. Now it's Scout, but he could have come in here for a martini and listened to Tony Bennett on the stage or something like that. It's been an incredible transformation for this building, going from where it was a vacant building that was basically people didn't like and wanted torn down to where it is now. When our advocacy efforts started on this project back in the early to mid 2000s, that was before Mad Men and before mid-century architecture was cool. So we had to do a lot of education about why the building was important, not only architecturally, but culturally related to the things that happened at the hotel. So it's really amazing to see it come all that way, and it's really one of the best success stories that we have here in Dallas as far as preservation.